Thank you very much for joining us on the i2i podcast today. How's it going?
Hey, good. Thank you for having me.
How's it going? Is it all right?
Yeah, everything's good. Just got back from a game yesterday, so today we got a little rest day. So yeah, everything's good.
Yeah, obviously your season's in full swing right now, so is it pretty full on at the moment for you?
Yeah, it's super fun, being able to play competitive games week in and week out and, being able to win a lot of those games is, winning's always fun. So, and being able to help my team. So yeah, it's been a pretty good season so far.
Yeah, you must be pretty happy with life right now then.
Yeah, I can't complain. I'll tell you that.
The game of the weekend didn't go your way, did it? How was it? Who was it against?
It was against Philly Union,
Mhm.
uh, Philly Union too, and yeah, I mean they scored an insane goal in the 90th minute. So yeah, we had chances that we could have put away, and defensive areas that we could have fixed, or just passes that didn't get through. But we move on. We have another game coming up this Sunday against NYCFC, which is going to be a hard one. So we're just focused on that now. This one's behind us, nothing we could do.
But you did score in that game, didn't you?
Yeah, I did have one.
A header. How many headers have you scored in your career? Not too many.
Two.
Just two.
Only two.
It was a good header though. You proud of that one?
Yeah, definitely. Anytime it's a header, it's special.
So moving on then, though, I wanted to begin by going back to how it all started for you then. Can you kind of
Right.
remember what inspired you to take up football when you were younger?
Yeah, I mean, when I was like really little, my mom and dad, they never really let me play American football, which is what I really wanted to play. But they didn't want me to get hurt, so they never put me in it, and they put me in like a little soccer league when I was like maybe 5 or something like that. And like I was just having fun like any other kid. But once I got a little bit older and like started playing club, I was fortunate enough to go to Brazil with a team and play down there, and I think that's where like I really like fell in love with football, and like where I decided like, okay, yeah, like I want to go pro, like I want to do this.
Could you kind of tell straight away that you had some kind of ability, or is it something that you've come on as you've trained more and more over the years?
No, yeah, I definitely think it's been something that I've like been working on and training hard to be able to do, because I think if I didn't train as much as like I did when I was younger or now, I don't think I'd be where I am today. And yeah, it's definitely a lot to do with training and working hard and stuff like that.
Was there any
For me,
players you used to watch as a kid kind of growing up and you wanted to be like them?
yeah, definitely, definitely Cristiano Ronaldo was one of them. Just seeing, you always hear how hard Ronaldo worked, and you see like how well he does, and it's like, man, like if he can work that hard and do that, like maybe I can too. So that was always like a big inspiration. And I grew up an Arsenal fan, so I loved Henry and Ronaldinho as well. Just entertainers. But yeah, growing up, those are like my main guys.
You mentioned your family a minute ago then. Just how important would you say your family have been to your football journey so far?
Yeah, no, they've been probably the most important part, supporting me and my goals and like my dreams, and, having my back when things didn't go my way, and, just continuing to push me to be better and to continue to push myself. Their support and like influence on me has been huge to my career.
So fast forwarding a little bit then, how did you first hear about the i2i Soccer Academy?
Honestly, I was in high school and I got like a letter that was from i2i, and I was like, yo, like what is this? And I was like, I don't know. I just like gave it to my mom. I was like, Mom, like I got this letter. Like I don't know what it is. It's in England. And she like looked at it. She's like, oh, like this could be like kind of cool. And like originally I didn't want to go to college. I wanted to go and try my luck going straight to pro out of high school. But my mom was really adamant that I get an education at the same time. And i2i happened to be that perfect balance where, I could have exposure, I could have opportunities to, play professionally in professional environments, in front of amazing coaches, to have connections, and while also at the same time getting a degree. So, for her, it was like a no-brainer, and I was like, yeah, okay, sure, we'll try it.
So your family
And
kind of pushed you down that route, that your family kind of wanted you to go down that route just because it was education as well as the football.
yeah, definitely having the education in there was a huge part of me coming to i2i.
And what was the biggest appeal for yourself then, when you had a number of different options? I imagine kind of, obviously you said you didn't want to go to college initially, but when you were looking down that route,
Right.
was there only one option for you when you found i2i?
Yeah, to be honest, there was some other schools that I was talking to as well, but just the way the i2i like seemed to me, I was like, yeah, like this is the best shot that I think I have of going pro. Just go over there, play well, and like see what happens and what comes of it. Because every kid's goal is to play in the Premier League. You just play in Europe in general, and I was like, yeah, why not try my luck? There's no point in living with regret. So yeah, it was a no-brainer for me.
And once you arrived in York, then was it a pretty smooth transition for yourself, or did it take some time for you to kind of adjust to life in York?
I mean, honestly, I've always been like very independent, and I've traveled like all over the country and the world for football. Like before I came to York, so I was pretty used to kind of just figuring things out and just kind of going with the flow. So it was a pretty easy transition for myself, and I made friends quickly and got settled in pretty quick, and I was on the ground running.
How much of a shock was the weather coming from California to England?
Yeah, that's a crazy one. Everywhere that I've been, York, even Madison, and even here in Columbus, the like winter is like, oh my goodness. Because in California, we don't even have winter. It just gets a little chillier. Like it gets like in like the 70s, 60s maybe, and that's only like in the morning. Once it hits like 10 a.m., it's like warm again.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was definitely. I had to buy my first big coat. That was a fun one. I was like, I have to buy one of these. Like I was just in a hoodie every day, and everyone's like, nah, bro, like you need a coat. And I was like, all right.
Do you prefer to play in cold temperatures, or do you prefer the heat back in the States to play in?
No, playing wise, I definitely prefer cold. I feel like I can run forever in the cold, but just like living wise,
Oh yeah,
definitely
there's only one
a
choice there.
shorts and t-shirt guy. Yeah.
So you were in the black team with Coach Jason Blunt, and we'll get onto him in a minute. How much do you enjoy playing with the black team?
I loved it. I loved every second of it. I think we're a really tight knit group, and I think that helped us to, do well and be a good team and play together as a unit. And having Coach Blunt, he really, made me feel confident in myself when I might not have been feeling confident. And yeah, it was just a great group of guys. Friends for life. We still talk. Have a group chat. So yeah, it was a great experience for me playing with the black team.
And correct me if I'm wrong with this one, but you seem to throw yourself into everything during your time at i2i, kind of giving everything and your absolute all with everything that you did. How important do you think it is to do that on the i2i program?
Yeah, I think just in general, if you want to like achieve a goal, and obviously for everyone that goes to i2i, that goal is playing professionally. You have to give it your all, like every day, no matter what it is that you're doing. And I think I still continue to do that to this day, whether it's like a rondo or like an 11v11 or just like a recovery session. I try and gain something out of every single thing that, like every time I step on the field, I want to improve and get better and, give it my all, because there's no point in not giving it your all. Like you're here, you have this opportunity. Like there's no point in slacking off and like then regretting it later and not getting the most out of it, because like people have sacrificed so much for you to be in that position. Like it'd be disrespectful to them to not give everything you have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And that black team, I mean, it has to be one of our best ever squads. So we had yourself in there, Tal Hick, Chris Ramin, Kevin Terhart, Colton. I mean, the list goes on.
Yeah, yeah, that team is pretty solid. I don't know if there's another team in the academy that could step to us. Some people might have some things to say, but on our day, like, nah, no one could touch us.
We'll have to make that happen, a reunion.
That would be crazy.
We've got to mention Blunty now. How much did he improve your game, would you say?
Yeah, definitely a lot. One thing that I like really struggled with was self-confidence, and you know, Blunty really made me feel like like he was like, no, like you are like a good player, like be confident in yourself. And he would tell me things that like I'd never heard before, coming over, and he changed the way that I looked at the game. And he put me in a position that I had never played before, but he had confidence in me that I could do a job there. And I ended up being pretty successful in that position. So yeah, he definitely helped me a lot in terms of just my versatility as a player, my confidence, just all that stuff tactically. Yeah, he was a massive help to me.
And he's a coach that kind of pushes his players very hard, isn't he?
Yeah, that's one thing I loved is he'd want the best from us every single day, and if he didn't get it, like he would let you know, and that was like something that I really liked, and I like being in that environment where I was being pushed, trying to find my limits and push past them. So yeah, that was something that really helped me as well.
But I guess that's what it takes as well. When he's played and coached at the highest level, he's got to push you to the limits.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's why our team as a whole is so successful, is because we had a lot of guys that were willing to push themselves to that limit. And, if you weren't, like, you would be able to tell.
Mm. How did you find the training sessions in England then compared to kind of what you've come from California prior to joining to us?
Yeah, so I never played in academy growing up in the States. So, I just played club growing up all my life. And then when I came to England, the training sessions were, really intense with Blunty, especially, really like, fast paced, trying to push the tempo, 1-2 touch, like not a lot of like dribbling and individual like play, but trying to, more combine and play as a collective. Sorry. But yeah, I loved every single training session. That was the best part of my day. I look forward to if we didn't have a match was training.
I mean, it's no coincidence that players that are training every day are really going to get better. I mean, did you feel your game coming on during your time at i2i?
I definitely did. The year before I came to i2i, I started, scoring more goals, scoring a lot of goals for my club team. And I was like, oh, like I might actually be kind of good at this, So, and then when I came to i2i, I continued in that form and fashion, just assisting my teammates, scoring goals, and I definitely felt like I was improving as a player in my time there.
Have you got a favorite game that you played in for i2i?
Oh man,
Is there one that sticks out? I know I've put you on the spot there.
a favorite game. I mean, one of the most memorable for me was our very first game as a team. We're playing away. I think it was at, oh my God, I can't, Hemsworth? No.
Hemsworth, yeah, that sounds right, yeah.
Glasshoughton, one of those teams. I forget
it was
who it
Glasshoughton.
was.
Yeah, it was Glasshoughton, yeah.
I think it was. And, it was our very first game. And, we had chances and we were missing. And, I had a shot where I cut in and I hit it back post and just curled it and it went in. And, that feeling when we scored, celebrating with my teammates and just winning that very first game 1-0 and being able to score was just like a euphoric moment. And at that time, I was just like, wow, like, that was just a great game and a great moment with my teammates at the time.
Yeah, it was a great goal. I remember it very well. Looking at the showcase games that you played in then, who did you play against and kind of what were those experiences like for you?
Yeah, we played against Wolves. We actually beat Wolves. We beat Wolves when it was like a joint showcase where it was like, the black team, the blue, and the red, I think.
Mhm.
and we all came together and made like a team and went over there and we beat them. And I was like, like wow, like we could really compete with these kids that are like our age that we're seeing from across the pond in the U.S. and like wow, like these guys are like where we want to be, and like to be competing with them was just like it was an amazing feeling, and it made us like feel very proud, to be a team like that that's a Premier League academy. So that was a great experience. We went to play against Celtic, Rangers, Huddersfield Town, um, and I know I'm missing some, but those are just the ones that I have off the top of my head. And every single time was an opportunity, and it was a great test for us as players too to compare ourselves like individually. Like, okay, this guy's playing my position over here. How do I fare against him and like his level? So it was always a really good test and experience to be able to play against those teams.
Halfway through your journey with us, you began to kind of go on trial with a few clubs. I think Sacramento Republic, one of them. How did you find the trial process?
Yeah, anytime you go on trial, it's a little nerve wracking, and my agent sent me there, and it was right before COVID started, and I was there, and obviously I was nervous, trying out for a professional team. Like, this is your dream since you're a kid. Like, you're obviously going to be nervous. But I thought I put in a good shift there, and I thought I was doing pretty well. And then COVID hit, and everything just had to go on pause, unfortunately. But yeah, it was a great experience there. I got along with all the guys, the head coach. It was a really good experience for me.
But then in August 2020, you end up signing for Forward Madison in USL. Just kind of share how that move came about.
Yeah, so I had just been training at home, trying to find fields that weren't locked up during COVID, and training on my street, just like outside, wherever I could, get touches in and work out and stuff like that. And my agent sent me to Loudon actually first, which is another USL team, and he sent me there, and I went on trial there, and I didn't get picked up, and I was really like down about that and sad, and I was like, man, like another team didn't pick me up, and I was getting really down. And then the Ford Madison opportunity came up, and he sent me out there, and in I want to say late July, he sent me out there, and went on trial with them, trained with them for about a week, and they offered me my first contract, and I was just like, I felt like a little kid, I was just stunned and like so grateful and happy to be given that opportunity to play there. So yeah, that's how that all kind of came about in that COVID year.
Yeah, it was a freak year. It certainly took some time for you to kind of break into the side at Forward Madison, but once you did, you never really looked back, did you?
Yeah, my first year I was playing as a striker, and it was a lot different, coming over and coming into like men's football like full time now, and I was really grateful to have the guys that I had there that year and being able to learn under them and grow as a player and a person. And the coaching staff that was there at the time really helped me and was kind to me and showed me a lot of love and helped me develop while I was over there. And finally, after coming off the bench, starting a couple of games, it took until the last game of that COVID year for me to finally get my name on the score sheet and get my first professional goal. And that was one of the best days of my life.
Yeah, I was about to ask you that first pro goal. That must have been some feeling.
Oh yeah, that was crazy. The feeling in my stomach, like, did I actually just score? Like, was that real? Like, I couldn't believe it. And it's like it was a very special moment for like me and my family, and they were obviously watching, so it felt really good to finally break through, especially being an attacker. You play all these games, and you don't score, it could be a little bit demoralizing. But getting it in that very last game was that was amazing.
And just how grateful are you to Forward Madison for giving you that first opportunity in the professional game?
Yeah, no, I'll never forget my coaches there. That first year, Dale Shore and Yoko Lavity, those guys. I remember being in the office with them and them offering me the contract, and I had like the craziest feeling on my stomach, And like after I got that, I'm tearing up outside, trying to make sure nobody's seeing me and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm forever so grateful to that club and to the coaches and the players that year. And I still follow them and obviously cheer for them. In my first club, they gave me an opportunity when believed in me when other teams wouldn't. So yeah, I'm forever grateful. And my heart is always a little piece of it's always going to be in Madison.
Absolutely. It may be difficult for you to answer this one, but how high is the standard at that level?
Yeah, I think the standard is definitely high. You're in a professional environment playing with, some players that are like veterans. I got there, I was like, 20 years old. There's guys here that are like 33, 34 that have been around the professional game a long time, and they hold everyone accountable. And, if you're not playing at a certain standard, the coaches, the players, like, then no one's afraid to let you know and tell you like, hey, like pick it up, like this isn't good enough. And I think that helped me personally just be able to always try and hold myself to that standard. It's like the little things, like making sure your first touch is like always clean, no matter what, even if it's just like a warm-up drill, or keeping your passes from bouncing when you send them back first time. Like it was definitely something that I'd never, been in before being in a professional environment. So yeah.
Moving on then, back in February this year, you made another step up in your career, signing for Columbus Crew 2 in MLS Next Pro. How did that move come about?
Yeah, actually, at the end of my season, my second year with Madison, we didn't renew my contract there, and so I was just waiting to see what was next. And literally, maybe a week later, my agent calls me and said, "Hey, like, what do you think about Columbus?" I was like, "Yeah, sure, wherever you need me to go, I'll go." And I ended up going on trial there probably like a week after being home from Madison, and I was on trial there for 2 weeks. And it was great. It was a crazy experience for me, coming from a League One team to coming to this like MLS facility and stuff like that. I'd never been in an environment like that, and seeing all of that, I was just like so like stunned. I was like, wow, like this is nuts. Like this is so nice. Like everything was just crazy. And I had a pretty good trial. We went down and we played against Orlando City B, and I managed to score in that game. And after that, trained a little bit more, and then I came home. And I think around December was when I officially signed. So a little bit later, but I was just grateful to have another place to play. Play for another year. You can't take anything for granted. There's a lot of guys that you see that sometimes go a season without a club when they're like a good player, but nothing is guaranteed in this sport. So I was really grateful to have this Columbus opportunity pop up.
I mean, it didn't start badly at all, did it? Scoring the first goal ever in their history. And that's your name in their history forever.
Yeah, it was
cool.
Definitely it was a special moment, and it's definitely a special goal. But yeah, I was really proud to be a part of that and be a part of the group that is this inaugural season group, and a group that's doing so well right now. And hopefully we can go all the way and win the first ever MLS Next Pro championship. So we'll see what happens the rest of the season.
Yeah, and once again, you kind of seem to settle in pretty quickly there. Is that right?
Yeah, I definitely, I really got on board quickly and adapted to the style of play that they wanted to play here. And, I really like the way that we play and how we're so like aggressive and frontal, and, we're pressing, we're in your face. We're not going to give you a second to breathe. And Um, it's just, wherever there's football, I find it's pretty easy for me to settle in because that's the main thing for me is just being able to play and, I'll do whatever's asked of me or whatever the team needs me to do. And the transition was pretty smooth over here too. So
Yeah, a couple of months pass at the end of April. You go on again and sign for Columbus Crew's first team in MLS. Again, how did that come about? How does kind of the process work for that?
yeah, so they needed a player, and I had been playing pretty well, and so they pulled me up for a like a short-term loan to go with the team to Kansas City. So I got to be with the first team, travel with them, be on the bench, and watch an exciting game unfold. Unfortunately, I didn't get on, but it was an amazing experience and opportunity for me to just be in that environment. And yeah, that was an incredible opportunity and experience for me.
Yeah, how much did being in that MLS matchday squad make you even more motivated and determined to get to that next level?
Yeah, it's definitely just so it's kind of like reassuring in a way, to have the recognition from, my coaches, the first team coaches, and just people at the club that okay, like yeah, we trust him enough to bring him in with our MLS match day squad, and it was really motivating. It was like yeah, like I can really do this. I just need to keep pushing and keep working hard and keep trying to be the best player I can be. I'm still trying to do that every single day, and you know, God's will be done. We'll see what happens, and I just got to keep controlling what I can control and keep working hard.
And how important is it for you to have that pathway in place? Because obviously being at Columbus, you can see that direct route that, look, if you flourish and continue to score goals in MLS Next Pro, you won't go unnoticed, and you haven't got unnoticed.
Yeah, it's really cool to see like my friends, like Jason Russell, Mo Farsi, guys that have been here from the start with me and have really flourished in this league, and seeing their successes and how they've been pulled up. It's like it's really motivating to all of us and shows that like the door is right there. You just have to prove that you're like good enough to get through it. So yeah, it's really motivating every day. Seeing those guys, and it just makes you want to work hard and push yourself to your absolute limit so that you can try and make the most of this like incredible opportunity that we've all been given that not a lot of people get.
I wanted to ask you about the training sessions that you currently have at Columbus. How would you say they compare to kind of what you did at i2i?
Yeah, I think our head coach Laurent Courtois, he demands a really high standard from us and a really intense training session where he wants you to be tired at the end of the training session. He wants you to leave it all out there, and you got to be really fit to be in these sessions and to be able to keep up and give it your all every day. And I think being at i2i definitely helped me to prepare for that because Bunty also was very demanding, and like you needed to be fit to be able to flourish in those sessions. So I think that fitness portion of staying fit to be able to do well in the sessions and keep going has been something that I've always carried with me, because I never want to not be able to perform because I'm tired. And so I think i2i really helped me to realize how important fitness is and to be able to push myself throughout the off season so that I come back ready to go, ready to hit the ground running. I don't need like an adjustment period per se. So yeah.
So looking ahead to the future then, Noah, I guess your goal is to just play at the highest level possible.
Yeah, my goal ultimately since I was a kid is to, play at Arsenal, play in the Champions League, and I just want to be able to be the best player that I can be and make it to the highest level that I can play at. So if that's MLS, so be it. If that's in Europe, like just the highest level that I can play at, where I know like okay, like I've given it my all, and if this is the highest level I can play at, I'll be happy with that.
And how confident are you that you can go all the way in the game?
I'm pretty confident in myself because like if you don't believe in yourself, who will? So I don't see any reason to, put a cap on, what I can do. Like I'll let other people do that, people that decide like whether or not I can play in this team. But I would personally never cap myself, I don't see any reason why I can't go and play in Europe, play in, Serie A, Liga. Like I don't see any reason why I can't do that. I'm just gonna keep working hard, and I'll let someone else decide that for me.
Just to finish off, Noah, we've got some questions for you submitted from Instagram. First one is, what's your advice to players at the i2i Academy trying to follow in your footsteps?
Honestly, just work hard, give it your all every day, and live a lifestyle where, you'd want to be doing these things if you had a coach looking over your shoulder like all the time. If you had a professional coach watching everything you do, like, would you be doing that if you had a coach watching you? If you had like your parents watching you, would you be doing that? Is that the best thing, for your body? Like, are you doing extra work? Are you eating right? It's just everything, comes together, and it's all so important. I think, just working hard and living your life, and that, you want to have that pro mindset before you even go pro, So I think that's what I would say.
Great stuff. We've got a question from our head of coaching, Brian Hughes, now. And you may have answered this already, but he's asked, how was your overall experience at i2i working with the coaches? You've kind of summed it up already, but...
Yeah, no, it was a great experience. All the coaches were really nice. They were really reassuring, and when they were honest, which I really liked. If you said, hey, like, how am I doing? And like, let's say I wasn't doing well, they'd be like, honestly, I think you need to improve in X, Y, Z. And that is something that is very valuable for me, because, if you just have people telling you all the time, oh, like, you're doing great, but you're not actually doing great, and they just don't want to hurt your feelings, you're never going to grow and improve. But, the coaches at i2i were very honest and were able to tell me, like, yeah, you should be working on X, Y, and Z. And I think that was really important for me in my development.
Another one from Brian. How's the different level of teams that you came up against in the UK, so semi-pro games, under-23s, showcase games, helped contribute to your all-round game improving?
Right. I think playing in like the showcase games and the U23 games with the people that were like my age really helped me, like, technically and tactically, because it wasn't so much like men's football. Whereas when I would go play with like the semi-pro sides, I forgot I think it was like Harrogate Railway.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, when I would go play with them, I would be getting, push, shove, kicked, and I think that really helped develop my physical side and turn me into someone who's not like scared of getting tackled and going hard into a 50-50. So I think all the different like teams that you're given the opportunity to play against all help you develop and grow in different ways. Excuse me.
And the last one is from one of your friends, Max and Noble, and he's asked, why haven't you been verified yet? I mean, it's a fair question.
Tell him he's asking the wrong guy.
Need to ask your agent.
Markson. What a guy. That is hilarious.
There had to be one, didn't there? There had to be one. Yeah. That's a good place to end, I think, Noah. So yeah, that'll do it for today's episode. Noah, thank you very much again for joining us on the i2i podcast. Hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I definitely did. Thanks so much for having me on.
And good luck for the rest of the season with Columbus. We'll all be watching.
Thank you.
Cheers, Noah.